Welcome! It's a great day to be a miner. In today's video, we have an exciting new rig build. We are building out the Halo Spartan rig. This rig will consist of 9 EVGA 20 series and 16 series graphics cards, all tucked into the beautiful Aaawave Sleuth version 212 GPU mining rig frame. Let's just stop gabbing and let's tear into this build. Spin that intro. Pew! It's time. It's finally time. Let's build out our Spartan rig. This is a 9 EVGA card rig. It's going to host all 20 series and 16 series. So let's start and go over the parts. Let's start with the GPUs. The most important part first. This is a 2060 Super. This is a 2060 Super. This is a 2070 Super. This is a nice thick boy XC model. Then we have a 2070 Super KO. And then on this row, so each of those will do 42 to 44 mega hash. Then in this row, we have 3 2060 KO non-supers. These will each do about 30 mega hash a piece. And then over here, we have another 2060 Super. And then of course we have a nice little 1660 Ti, also should do around 30 mega hash. Let's move on to the rest of the hardware. So now what are we gonna put the GPUs in? We're gonna put them in the 12 GPU Aaawave Sleuth version 2 frame. I have another video on this. I do a review and also an assembly. Make sure to check it out above. So next, this frame, we have 8 UpHere 120mm RGB fans. They don't have the best RPM and the best airflow, but as we know, the RGB will offset the additional RPM and CFM because, as we all know, RGB adds hash rate. Those alone should add at least 2% onto my total rig. Next, we have to power our rig. What are we gonna power it with? We have an 850 EVGA bronze ATX power supply, and also we are going to use this. I haven't used one of these yet, but I have purchased a few of these recently, and I'm hoping they work as good as advertised. This is an 1100 watt Dell Gold Server PSU, and the great thing about this is it will run on a standard X11 Breakout board from Parallel Miner. On 120, this will actually give me 1023 watts. You can't find any other PSU on 120 that will give you that much wattage, at least not a server PSU. Next, what are we going to run the whole thing on? Where our motherboard? Let's check out what we have for a motherboard. This is one of the most tried and true mining motherboards I've ever come across. I've been using these for at least 3 years now. This is the Gigabyte H110 D3A, and you can pair these with a cheaper Celeron, and you don't have to use very expensive RAM. So this is a very quality setup. It actually even has a mining mode in the BIOS, which will automatically switch over a bunch of the settings. So it's pretty quick and easy to set up this specific motherboard. What are we gonna run in it? What CPU? We're going to use a cheapo Celeron. I believe this is a G3930, just a nice cheapo to run the rig. What else do we have? Let's clean this up. To run our GPUs, what are we going to use? We're going to use a 6-pack of risers from our friends over at GPUrisers.com. This was actually sent to me from Red Panda Mining. Make sure to check out Red Panda's videos. He is the best in the business all day, every day. Appreciate you, Red Panda. So we're going to use 6 of those. Then we also have 3 of the Aaawave risers. They are also the version 009S, so it's the same version, but it is unbranded through Aaawave rather than the branded GPU risers.com risers. We're going to use a 120 gigabyte silicon power SSD. These are the best efficient, cheapo SSDs that you can use for mining rigs. Highly, highly advise these. Again, I'll put links in the description for all of these parts and accessories. And what else do we need to get this thing up and running? We've got some additional screws and hardware. Oh, this board is a 6 GPU board. We're gonna run 9 cards on it. So how are we gonna make 6 into 9? We need to have a splitter. I picked up one of these through Amazon. It was actually a fairly well rated one. You plug this into your slot. I'll take the bracket off, the IO bracket, and then we'll plug this into the PCIe X1 slot. Actually, we'll plug this into the PCIe X16 slot. And what that does is it changes one slot into 4. So I'll be able to hook 4 risers off of there, and that's how we are going to get 9 GPUs off of this 6 GPU motherboard. And what else? We need a power button. We got a cheapo toggle. I also have my old trusty Dell. I yanked this out of an old Dell workstation. This thing works good because it has all the lights and it's just in one nice little piggy tail that I can just plug into the motherboard. I had this on an old 6-card frame and it worked pretty good. So if I can find a quick, easy mounting point, I think I'll use this guy just so that way I have the nice little LEDs.
Cause such silence, who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their bombs. In your head, they are fighting. In your taking over. When the violence causes silence, we must be mistaken. It's the same old team since 1916. In your head, they still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are guided. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head?
All right, quick follow-up on what we've done so far. We've got all of our fans installed. The wires are all cleaned up. They're all tidy. They're zip tied. It's very clean and focused. And then down here, we've got all of our wiring cleaned up. The server power supply is not hooked up. We used our Dell power switch here that is out of an old Dell PC. And then we went ahead and booted this thing up. And then we installed Windows from our flash drive, and then we went ahead and did all of the updates for Windows. So the only thing that's left is now to start adding the GPUs one at a time. So what we'll do is we'll power it down, we'll hook one GPU in there, we'll power it back up, we'll let Windows read it, then we will rinse and repeat until we have all 5 of the primary GPUs installed. Then we are going to use our adapter in that primary X16 slot, and we're going to try to add 4 GPUs with the splitter off of that one adapter spot. The only other thing we need to do is this server power supply is floating. I think we'll just use some double-sided tape and have it stuck right where it's at, and we should be just about built up after that. We have to install some mining utilities, afterburner, T-Rex, etc. And then we can get ready and do some testing, see what our hash rate is, and try to lower our power limits.
Only come down at night. No one is
back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
Now we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead.
All right, the EVGA Spartan Rig, she lives, the most important part, the Spartan Funko. The other most important part, the EVGA case badge, both of those should add at least 2% on the hash rate. We made a few changes on the build. We put these first two graphics cards up here on the ATX power supply. The rest are all on the server power supply. And we actually changed out the server power supply to an HP 1200 watt, which it's running on 900 watt because I am on 120 volt. But here it is, finished product. In the next video, we are going to do all the overclocking. We're gonna get this thing mining in Windows, and then we're gonna try to get the most efficiency that we can out of this thing and see how much we can trim down the power and how much we can crank the mega hashes. Let's just do a quick recap on this. It's the Aaawave Sleuth version 2, a 12 GPU mining rig frame. On the top are a, let's see, we have one 1660 Ti right here. We have a 2060 vanilla non-super thick boy XC single fan. Then we have three 2060 KOs. Then we go down to the next row. We have a 2070 Super XC thick girl. We have two 2060 Supers and a 2070 Super KO version. We are running on a 850 watt EVGA bronze modular, semi-modular. We have a silicon power SSD, 120 gigabyte. We have an HP 1200 watt server power supply. We're using risers from GPUrisers.com under here. And then on the top, we're using Aaawave version 9 risers on the top. They have the red PCB, and then we have the black PCB down here for the GPUrisers.com. Here is our RGB remote to go for our fans. The fans, we have 8 of the UpHere 120 millimeter RGB fans full of goodness. For our motherboard, we're using the Gigabyte H110 D3A. These boards are tanks. Then we have a splitter 1 to 4 to get us up to 9, because this has 6 slots, 5 are direct plugged, 1 has the splitter, and that's how we have 9 cards in this thing. All right, it's time for us to quit playing around with this thing and get it mining and see what it can do. Wah-ha-ha-ha. Teabag. Boop. Well, there you have it. The Spartan Rig is fully built and alive. We're going to do a separate tuning, efficiency, and profitability video shortly. Do you still use any of the 20 series or the 1600 series for mining? If you do, make sure to tell us about your setup down in the description. We would love to hear about it. I'll make sure to link some of the items I used in this video down in the description. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride. Pew!